The following segment is sponsored by North Star Financial and Retirement Planning.
Are you ready to retire? I mean, are you really prepared, ready to retire? It's a loaded question, but if you're 55 or older, it's crucial to know what retirement will look like for you. Joining us now are George Fossing and Zach Jenkins. George is an advisor, a fiduciary, and the president of North Star Financial. Zach is also an advisor and fiduciary with the North Star team. North Star Financial and Retirement Planning is a local area firm that focuses on preparing people for a successful retirement. George and Zach are also popular radio show hosts, and they are joining us this morning. Hi, good to see you.
Good morning, Mark. Good to see you.
Well, based on your experience, how many people really know the answer to that question, are you really ready to retire?
A lot of people think they know. A lot of people know they don't know. It's still kind of a guessing game for folks out there. You know, you go online, there's lots of calculators, different tools to be able to kind of assess where you are, and a lot of people do that. And many people just don't. They've got other things going on out there. But that is such an important question. If you go into retirement prematurely before you really have built up adequate savings and have a plan in place, it could be, what's the outcome? Well, if you don't do it correctly, you might not be able to enjoy your retirement, have that standard of living you've been used to. And if you try to maintain that standard of living and you don't have enough money, you're on the fear of possibly being old and running out of cash. And you don't want to be having to go back to work with respect to go to Hardee's and have to make the biscuits at 5 in the morning, not where you want to be. So it's really important to understand where you are if those numbers are real.
Well, and in understanding those numbers, then what has to be crossed off the list to mean that a person really is ready for retirement?
But you've got to take a lot of different parts of that too. Elements of, we talk about retirement, I think most people just talk about my investments, right? That's what they automatically look at. Well, how about your Social Security? Do you know exactly how much you're going to get and how much you're going to keep? You know, Zach's our Social Security guy here. He's a resident expert with that. And, you know, he does planning with that all the time. And up to 85% of your Social Security benefits can be taxed. So somebody's getting ready to retire, husband and wife, hey, you know, honey, we're going to have $5,000 a month coming in Social Security. Like, well, not so fast. If you have too much other income, you possibly could end up with, $4,000 or such in your retirement account. You have to take healthcare costs into it, your Medicare, your prescription drug coverage, long-term care planning. There's a lot to it. We have a saying out here, this is not our parents' or grandparents' retirement. It's a lot more complex, and there's a lot more, you've just got to be aware out there. You can get in harm's way pretty quick.
Yep, and I imagine when it comes to whether you're ready to retire, it's not only a financial question, but also a mental one, right?
Oh, definitely. I mean, you go through 30, 40 years of working and receiving a paycheck every week or every 2 weeks. And then all of a sudden you've gone from this accumulation phase to now I'm in a distribution phase. I'm going to start taking money out of my retirement investments to fund my standard of living.
Oops, the heck out of people.
Yeah. So my mother retired in December, and a couple weeks into it, I said, "Hey, how you and Dad doing?" And she's like, "Well, it's kind of weird not getting a paycheck. This is the first time in 32 years I haven't gotten a check."
Yeah.
So quite the mental switch.
It's an adjustment, but a great one, I'm sure. What are some common mistakes that might interfere with somebody being able to retire when they want?
Well, we say this basically every week. Taxes. It's the big deal. You have to know how much you're going to end up with, not just what you're making. Uncle Sam is out there waiting to take the money away. We're looking at this. Anybody who's paying attention to the news, you're watching this debt get bigger and bigger and bigger. It doesn't matter who's in office nowadays. You're looking at this during Trump years, $6.7 trillion in debt. Obama, $8.5 trillion built up the debt. Bush, before that, $5.8 trillion. We're probably already looking at $3 trillion. Who's going to pay for this? Where's it going to come from? It's going to come from everybody's pockets out there, which means there's going to be more stress on that. So what does that mean? We're not here just to be on TV on your program to scare people, but show people right now to be proactive about this. Look and see what you can do right now while taxes are relatively low to make sure your future retirement is you're paying the least amount of taxes as possible. That's a really good starting point.
Well, and I know you're so passionate about this. You could have these conversations all day, every day. But before we let you go today, anything else about the importance of tax planning or making sure people are ready for retirement?
Get in front of it. Mm-hmm. I mean, you don't want to be at the point where you look back and say, hey, I wish I would have done this or known about this 5 or 10 years ago. Look into it, talk to a professional, see if it's, something that could benefit you.
Well, you can help us assess where we are and keep an eye on the future. Thanks so much for being here, George and Zach. We appreciate it.
Always a pleasure, Margaret. Thank you.
And for those of you at home, if you're currently retired or getting close to retirement and would like to learn more about how to help protect and grow your hard-earned savings and investments, North Star Financial has a great offer for you. Right now until May 22nd, they're offering a complimentary, no-obligation investment portfolio review. The report will include potential tax savings opportunities and ways to reduce the effects of market volatility on your portfolio. Their team will schedule a phone call, a video call, or future in-office meeting so they can speak with you personally and provide you with a roadmap going forward. The number to call now, 309-8146.